Hello and welcome to Scholarship Day. It's Miss Larson and I'm going to walk you through 10 tips for writing effective scholarship essays. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or would like some additional help writing or creating scholarship essays, please feel free to email me. All right, so number 1, start gathering material on yourself and build a file or a resume. And the things that you want to include would be some of the things that are listed here: your GPA, your class standing, your courses selected. These would be especially important for a couple of reasons. If you want to show rigor, like you're in an AP class or a dual credit class, that's why you might want to bring up the courses selected. The other reason why you might want to highlight certain courses in a scholarship essay is if it's showing that you have an interest in a particular field of study. So maybe you are interested in engineering and you want to highlight all the science classes you've taken. The next one is school and community activities, also honors and awards, and hobbies and interests. I know that I would suggest that you start from 9th grade up and reflect on those years and see what you've participated in, whether you've held an elected position, whether it was, you were a president or you were a captain of something. Those are good things to highlight. I would consider things that you are part of in and outside of school, and I would pay particular attention to something that either means a lot to you or shows a particular amount of dedication or time outside of the school day. If you have one or two of those, that's probably better than having a lot of things with very little dedication to them. So that's just something to consider. Same thing with work or volunteer experience, both in school and out of school. So think of things that you've done for not only FFA, but if you're part of a church group, if you're part of Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, if you're part of, maybe you volunteer for a siblings Pee-wee football league, okay? So think about all those things that you do in and out of school that show your dedication to your personal interests and to the community. The next part says, continue to examine and refine your personal goals. You may be asked to write an essay on these topics. What are your education and career goals, and where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? There's also an outline sample, and that's one of the things that's on there as well, as far as stating your major, why you selected it, how this degree might impact your career plans, and what are your future plans. So if you get to these two questions and don't know right now, that's okay. However, what I would try to do is highlight some of your interests and highlight your desire to continue your education and where that desire comes from. What is driving you to continue your education? What is driving you to write these scholarships? Number 2 says, read the instructions and make sure you understand them before you start writing. Scholarship essays should use this format unless specified otherwise. So this is similar to an MLA paper. Double space times New Roman, 12-inch font, 1-inch top on the margins. The thing with this is the judges of any kind of scholarship are going to be reading sometimes several, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of essays, depending on if it's a local or a national scholarship. They want something that is consistent from one essay to the next. So don't spend a whole lot of time making yours look pretty or different, because this is what most scholarships are asking for specifically. Number 3, use an outline. There is an outline provided with, essentially a 5-paragraph essay but it's not going to be a super long essay for the most part. It's going to be an introductory part. There's going to be a part about your career objectives or your educational objectives, a little bit about yourself and your need, and then just a wrap-up. It's probably usually about less than a page long, unless they give you a page requirement or a word limitation. So be aware of those things as well. So when it says read the instructions and make sure you understand them, make sure that you're paying attention to the details, please. Number 3, begin the writing process using an outline. Number 4, make sure your outline touches on every aspect. So reread, check through it, make sure you have everything there that they're asking for. Okay? And then number 5, I'll go over this again, but it says write your essay by elaborating on each of the points in your outline. So make sure whatever they're asking for as part of this scholarship process, that at some point you address it within that outline. Okay, number 6, use clear, concise, and compelling language throughout the essay. So notice the picture says blah, blah, blah. As an English teacher, we talk about blah or boring words. Those are words that are often overused and don't tell the reader something interesting. So interesting happens to be one of those words. Interesting doesn't tell me anything. It just tells me something's interesting, but it doesn't tell me why or how. So a good thing for number 6, clear, concise, compelling language, is thinking about the why and the how. Using descriptive language, not overused or boring, repetitive language. So words like very and good and interesting that are overused, get rid of them. Have someone look through your essay for those words specifically. Number 7, don't be afraid to toot your own horn. You need to talk about yourself and your achievements honestly so that others will know what you are capable of. So with this one, what I want you to think about is, first of all, it says honestly. Don't lie. Don't make stuff up about yourself. But the people who are reading your essay, depending on if it's a local or a national scholarship essay, are going to be anonymous readers. You don't know who they are. They don't know who you are unless, you give something away that makes it very evident who you are. However, they don't know your story. So tell them as much as you feel comfortable telling them as far as tooting your own horn, as far as what you have accomplished. Make sure that you're pretty specific with it. Likewise, don't be afraid if it talks about your need. Don't be afraid to demonstrate your need. What circumstance are you comfortable revealing? For example, when I applied to college, I talked about how I was the last of 6 kids to go, I was the last of 6 kids in my family, but I was the first one that had to fill out FAFSA, the first one that had to, finance her schooling because my other siblings didn't go to college. My mom worked from home and didn't have her own insurance. My dad was laid off. All of these things can combine to help demonstrate what your need is. So don't make things up again, but let them know where you're coming from. Number 8, make sure your grammar and spelling are impeccable. Part of the writing process, no matter if it's an essay or any other written piece, you have to edit. Have someone else edit for you. Have a couple people edit for you. And the reason I say that is after you read through your essay a few times, you're going to miss things and it's going to sound very natural to you. Have someone else look it over, especially if editing is not a strong suit of yours. Number 9 says read the question again and then reread your essay to be certain that the essay addresses every point. This goes back to number 4 and 5. So what does it require for the instructions, and are you elaborating? So with this one, what I highly recommend is consider who your audience is. Is it a local scholarship essay? Is it a national one? Is it a scholarship that is for a specific department at a college, or for a specific merit-based, meaning, you earned so many 3s and 4s on your AP tests, and so you're applying for an AP scholarship. Maybe you are applying for a local teacher scholarship. So there's some scholarships that are available to students that want to be teachers. Maybe you're applying for a GSA scholarship. Maybe you're applying for an engineering scholarship. So kind of tailor your individual essays to the essay prompt, as well as your reader for the essay, okay? And let's see, what else do I want to tell you? When I talk about being specific, don't always list things. Provide specific anecdotes. Let them see you. So one thing that writers will tell you is let them see you. Show, don't tell. So be specific with your language. Give them an anecdote of an example for, what or why you are deserving of a scholarship. And the last one says, have someone, I would choose that to several, or at least 2 or 3 people with strong writing and editing skills proofread your essay before you submit it. And the reason I say that is because, again, you'll start to forget what you need to focus on. Plus, you want to make sure that that person has those skills, and so the more people that you have look at it, the better off you are going to be. I am going to post a few more recommendations with effective scholarship essays. Make sure that you are aware of the deadlines for these. Make sure that you are giving yourself plenty of time to write your scholarship essays. The other thing that I would recommend is keeping a document in your Google files that have your scholarship essays there, because you're going to apply to some schools that are going to do short answer responses, and you will probably repeat those over and over for different scholarship applications. So if you have something written and you can adjust it or tweak it from one scholarship essay to the next, that is going to be very helpful for you. So save these responses, even if it's not in a Google document. Save them somehow so that you're not having to rewrite them and rewrite them and rewrite them. And then the last thing that I wanted to say applies to asking someone to write a essay for you, because a lot of the same tips on here goes for your teachers, your coaches, your supervisors who are going to write these letters of recommendations for you. I would say the same thing. Give them plenty of time to write them. Give them a deadline. Check on them. Give the essay writer the prompt and the specifics that they need to know to write your recommendation. Have them be personally a good writer as well, or have someone look over their writing, and then make sure you choose someone who's going to be able to give you a positive referral or recommendation. Think about the interactions you've had with that person, and are they going to be able to give you a good recommendation? Please email me, again, if you have any questions about this, and I'd be more than happy to help. Good luck.